Well, the World Series heads back to north of the border in Canada, where Vlad Guerrero Jr. and company try to bring a World Series back to Toronto for the first time in 32 years. A savage win by the Blue Jays. A Snell that goes back into the shell. We're going to talk about it right now.
I'm looking to the bullpen to bring my lefty in. Keep the lead and make your team look pedestrian. It's in your wheelhouse, we'll swing for the fence. You know it's money around here, man, I ain't talking expense. Strike one, heat a low in the way, you can't hit it. You know you want to start a rally, but you better forget it. Strike two, off speed, same spot, your car looking. Get ready at the plate, this time you're not cooking. Strike three, swinging out of the zone. You ain't even touch it first. Tell me how they gonna drive you home. Walk your back, looking like we ain't cool then. The game's over, might as well put them back to the bullpen, oh yeah.
Well, just like the Astros. Wow. Just like the Blue Jays are back in Toronto, we are back to the bullpen. Mike, how you doing, sir? Good evening on this Thursday.
Hello.
The day before we get game 6 and possibly game 7 if necessary.
Yeah, I mean, this has not turned out the way the Dodgers and a lot of people across this country thought it was going to. So many so-called experts were saying that the Dodgers were ruining baseball, that the Dodgers, they were a juggernaut. The Toronto Blue Jays don't even belong on the field with them. Well, guess what? That's why you get on the field and you play the games. And Toronto, as of right now, they have flat out outplayed this juggernaut of a Los Angeles Dodgers team. Now, Dodgers still have a chance. All they have to do is win tomorrow, win the next day, and they win the World Series and go back-to-back. But I can tell you this, the Toronto Blue Jays have given them everything they wanted and more.
Yeah, definitely. It is one of the things that when you look at a series like this, like you mentioned, the Blue Jays and their prowess, it's not like, the Dodgers and their prowess, it's not like the Blue Jays also shouldn't be there. This Blue Jays offense is their strength and has been their strength, but we got to start out. As a former pitcher yourself, to see a guy go out there and do something that nobody's done since 1914.
Yeah.
And the first rookie pitcher to have 2 double-digit strikeout games in a postseason series. What do you say about a kid like this? Because he's risen 5 levels in pro baseball, and now he's on the biggest stage, about to be part of a World Series champion if they can complete the job.
Well, hold on. Not just being on the roster, not just being on the team, but actually pitching game 1 and game 5 so far in this series. Just absolutely remarkable what he's been able to do. For a guy that started off 22 years old, started off in A ball, hit every level in the minor leagues, and then gets to the big leagues. Okay, he's got a month in the big leagues. That's nice. He's got a good arm. He's got exceptional stuff. He has a wonderful trick pitch in the split finger fastball. How are we going to use him? Oh, well, you know what? Let's put him in the rotation and see what he does. And he has been just absolutely spectacular. And yesterday, there are certain things you can look at. Now, is this, the start he had before, he didn't throw the ball all particularly well, and he couldn't find his split finger fastball. And that's the pitch he really needs. That's the one that's going to set up that's going to make his fastball a little bit better. That's the one that's going to make his slider a little bit better. He needed that to have that third pitch so that hitters have something else to look for. Well, if you look at his pitch breakdown, now I haven't seen the final number, but in like the 6th inning, he had gone about a third with each one of those pitches. And when you do that, he's pitched well because he found the split finger fastball. They have to respect that pitch. The fastball was there. I think he had 6 strikeouts on the slider and 6 strikeouts on the split. He was outstanding. He really was. And, there's been a lot of talk about the Dodgers offense, and the Dodgers offense has not been great this whole postseason. You talk about them being a juggernaut. Their starting rotation has been absolutely ridiculous going into this World Series. But, Toronto's hitting has been better, and it hasn't all been, lighting everything up and driving the ball off the wall every single time, but it has been putting the ball in play. And that's not something that we see in Major League Baseball a whole lot of.
Yeah, so I'm looking right now at Baseball Savant when you mention his pitches. So out of the 104, he threw 45 sliders, he threw 30 splitters, and 29 four-seam fastballs.
Yeah. So not exactly a third, but pretty close. He used all three pitches very well. He mixed and matched and got ahead in the count, and the rest was history. And it also, I will say this is where the offense did help. Snyder going deep on the first pitch of the game, and then Vladdy going deep the second batter of the game. That helps a lot. And it also harms the other team. It harmed the Dodgers because now the Dodgers are playing from behind. And I've always said there is no such thing. You go to the 27 Yankees, Murderers Row. No team is made to play from behind. Because it puts you more on the defensive as an offensive team, and it puts the starting pitcher, the pitchers on the other side, on the offense. They can be more aggressive, and that's kind of what you saw. And after the crazy game on Monday, the 18 innings, playing 6.5 hours, and then Freddie Freeman hitting the big home run in the wee hours of the morning for most of the country. I think here in Houston, it was like 5 till 2 when he finally went deep.
Wow.
From then you really thought, okay, well, the Dodgers have the upper hand. Their pitching was set up better. But again, you got to go out there and play. And, Shane, don't call me Justin Bieber, pitched very well, held that offense down and did what he was supposed to do. And the resiliency of the Blue Jays has shown up yet again with them winning these last 2 games and having a chance tomorrow night to win another World Series.
Yeah, definitely. And that game reminded me of the 18-inning game between the Astros and the Mariners when Jeremy Pena hit that home run. But that was the only run that was scored in that game. Yeah. That was, let me tell you, watching that game was just gut-wrenching. But Freddie Freeman is really truly one of the best hitters I think of this generation, Mike.
Oh, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
He's unreal. But going back to Trey Savage, this is wild. So he had let's see, was it 23 swings and misses, 70% whiffs on his splitter, and 48% whiffs on his slider. I'm like, those are numbers.
And the thing is, going into this, the slider, you would say the slider was an average pitch. But because he was ahead in the count, because they were ahead in the game, that made the Dodgers be just a little bit more aggressive. And he threw just enough fastballs to keep them honest. Not a whole lot of swing and miss on the fastball, but 23 swing and misses is a huge number. Yeah, he went 7 innings, but that is a massive number. For anyone, and to do it on, put a number up like that, it's going to be, across the board, he's getting swing and miss, but it just shows that split finger fastball is just a devastating pitch. And it's the reason he's there,
So he flipped the script though, because like you say, so his slider during the year, he threw it 29% of the time.
Yeah.
That, last night, 43%.
Yeah.
His fastball 28% of the time last night and usually 45%. So there's something to be said too about the Dodgers game plan going in. Yes, they had faced him, but you still look at the numbers. You still look at what he's done over the course of the season to say, okay, these are his tendencies.
Yeah, you see what the trends are. And you go from there, and you actually change that. I mean, we saw Kevin Gosman, who pitched so very well against Yamamoto and gave up the 2 home runs on fastballs when, it was later in the game. I think the Dodgers had by then figured out that, he wasn't going to throw his split as much tonight.
Right.
He thinks we were going to be sitting on it. And then they finally changed the plan a little bit and got a couple fastballs, drove him out of the ballpark. But that's the cat and mouse game between hitters and pitchers. And listen, it's a big part of this. One of the hardest things to do in Major League Baseball is to pitch against the same team back-to-back games, especially a starting pitcher. Yamamoto's going tomorrow night. Now, tomorrow night. Yamamoto is the best pitcher on the planet right now. And I don't think there's really any question. But he did warm up, on Monday, and he got fully hot.
True.
In the 18 innings. If it went 19 innings, he was going to pitch. And you got to remember, he had just pitched 2 days before, and through a complete game. So, pretty crazy that he and I love the camera work that Fox had. They actually showed the interpreter going up to Dave Roberts and Mark Pryor. Yes,
Yeah.
I want to say
You're good.
Pryor.
You're good.
And talking to him, and everybody thought, well, that's about Shohei. It wasn't about Shohei. It was about Yamamoto, and he went down there and he warmed up. So that was something that is different than his normal routine. He's also coming back, I want to say on short rest, but on rest that he's not usually on. You got to remember, when pitchers come out of Japan, now it's been a couple years, they pitch once a week. They rarely pitch. They rarely pitch more than once a week. So we'll have to see what kind of different game plan he has. But just like Savage, you knew he was going to throw the split finger fastball. Yamamoto is going to throw the split finger fastball because it's just such a devastating pitch.
Right. And it's really about keeping the other team, like you said, off balance. And that's what Savage was able to do. Yamamoto, just very good. That bullpen in LA is very vulnerable.
Well, we said that going in.
Yeah.
That it had not
relied on their starters.
Yes, it had not been exposed this whole postseason. And the reason it hadn't been exposed is because Dave Roberts had been riding the starting pitching. And the starting pitching had been nothing short of spectacular. Right.
No, I mean, even Blake Snell of all people had been really one of the go-to guys. And but that's baseball. And that's why you say every time, that's why you play the game. And that's why I'll go back to this. That's why you said, look, you want the Astros to get in the playoffs because you never know what's going to happen.
That's it. Right.
You never know. Now, speaking of with unknowns, George Springer, goes down after a swing.
Yeah.
A sore side. Now, they did say today that he was hitting off a high velocity pitch machine, that he was running, that he could possibly be in the game tomorrow night.
Well, he did get an at bat that last inning of, yesterday's game. Now, you didn't see a very aggressive swing.
No,
you didn't see him run hard.
Looked, but I'm just wondering.
He looked tentative, but I mean, I don't know if you've ever had an oblique or intercostal injury. It's extremely
all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
You're working out. When I'm on that bench, hitting 250.
Yeah, you're probably up to 15s, right, on the dumbbells now.
No, 25s, buddy.
Oh, look at you!
Get it right.
So, it's one of those things that obviously it wasn't as severe as we were worried about, just simply because he was able to do anything at all. Because usually when you have one of those injuries, you can't do anything until it's completely healed.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the lineup looks tomorrow, what it looks like, and if Springer's able to go in. But I'll tell you what, they looked pretty good without him too.
Yeah, that's why I put the Jay step up. I mean, when you look at this roster, when you look at this lineup, I mean, you see guys like Ernie Clement.
Yeah.
I mean, Schneider. Of course, Bichette's in there. Alejandro Kirk. I mean, everybody got a hit that night except Jimenez. And Jimenez even got a walk and a run, so he contributed. I mean, Schneider's hitting 211, and he gets a leadoff home run.
He hit 11 home runs in the regular season.
Yeah.
And he turned a 97 mile an hour fastball that was a little up, was on the inside part of the plate. But hey, who cares? It shows anybody that walks up there with a stick is dangerous. And he ambushed Blake Snell. It happened.
And you only use Sir Anthony Dominguez for 1 inning, Hoffman for 1 inning on the Blue Jays side.
And then they had the off day today. That's why Hoffman pitched, was they really wanted that win, but also you had the off day today to get ready for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, definitely. And going back home, we've mentioned it before, the Rogers Center is just has such great energy.
Yeah.
The fans show up there. You know what? if you want to show up with energy and with fire and you want to get known, then you need to get one of these Back to the Bullpen shirts. Okay. You need to hit that QR code or go to ramshirts.com. There you go. And you get 10% off 2 shirts or more if you use the code B2B at checkout. So check that out. Mark doesn't only do our Back to the Bullpen shirts. He does other shirts and he does stuff for your business. So if you got your business need t-shirts, hats, embroidery, he does it all. So go check it out. He even has a 3D printer now, Mike.
He's big time. He's
printing like now. I don't know if he's selling them, but he's printing like holiday decorations for his house. So that's pretty cool. That might be the way to go, because look, holiday decorations. Can we take a little jot off of the baseball road? Number one, Halloween decorations are out of control. There are skeletons that are like 18 feet tall.
Yes, there are.
Ming looks small, and then like the Halloween decorations aren't even up for a week. And then all of a sudden now there's like Santas. There is a Santa for like $1,000 at Lowe's. And I think it's like 14 feet tall or something.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, what are we doing?
And it's probably only $10 or $12, right?
Oh no, it's several $100s. Right. The fact that they're selling it means that people are buying it.
Here's the crazy thing. When you buy one of those, okay, fine. That means obviously you love Christmas. You got the kids, everything. What happens in January? Where do you put the thing? You got to get a storage facility down in public storage. So
what I need to do is I need to take a picture of the box. And next time we're on a show, I'll see if I can commit to getting there and getting a picture of the box. And like some of these decorations, you're like, how does that fit in that? Now it may fit in that when I pull it out of the box.
That's right.
How do I get it back in the box like that?
So our previous house, I had a really, really big garage. And actually I had 2 garages, but I had a really, really big garage. I think it was a 5-car garage.
Wow.
And half of it was taken up because I had a 8-foot moose. Yeah, it was lights.
Okay.
But I mean, its antlers were 8 feet across. It stood about 7 feet tall. It was about 9 feet long, but it wasn't something that broke down. You know, it was wrapped lights all the way around. So what did I have? I just had to put it in the garage, and it took up half my freaking garage. Where's a 14-foot Santa Claus going to go?
So you have a 1 moose 4-car garage is what you're saying.
Right. That's right. That's right.
I love that. So, the Dodgers have to win 2 games. So obviously the pressure's on LA.
Dodgers have to win 1 game.
No, isn't it?
They can't win 2 before they win 1. That's the approach. The approach is win tomorrow night.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I was like, wait, I thought I got it wrong. I was like,
how do you climb Mount Everest? One step at a time.
Okay. There you see. That's why Mike is the pro on the show and I'm the Joe. Joes and pros, right?
There you go.
But I do think with Yamamoto going in, the Dodgers have to have confidence. And
sure,
Mookie Betts, to me, I think he was a little down. I don't know. Like Big Papi was saying he thinks he's lost confidence. I don't think Mookie Betts has lost confidence. I think Mookie Betts is upset because he feels like he's not making a difference.
Well,
and
let me tell you how confidence works.
Go ahead.
And confidence is not something that's always there. Okay.
Right.
It doesn't matter what the numbers on the back of your baseball card are. Doesn't matter how many touchdowns you've thrown. Doesn't matter how many field goals you've kicked. It's something that comes and goes. And I don't disagree. Now that doesn't mean Mookie doesn't know he can't play the sport.
Right.
Okay. What that means is he doesn't trust himself right now. Now he has gotten both of the last 2 games, he has gotten hits. So, maybe he's coming out of it, but the other side of it is, you have to get credit to the Blue Jays pitching.
Yeah.
They are making good pitches against some very good Dodgers hitters. So, confidence comes and goes, and it can leave you as quickly as, 1 or 2 games, but it can come back in one swing. I mean, he catches something out in front and drives it out of the ballpark. Now, you're going to tell me you would be completely shocked if over the next 2 games, Mookie goes, 5 for 8 or 6 for 8 if they get to a game 7? Is that going to be shocking? No, because we've seen Mookie do that before. But as far as the confidence is, yeah, he's questioning himself. I mean, all you have to do is look at the swing. You're not seeing really aggressive swings. He's a little bit early. He's a little bit late. And that, that's the mental side of the game, because physically he's still the same Mookie Betts. He's still one of the most athletic players on the field. But the mental side of the game can waver for anyone. I mean, some of the most insecure players I ever played with are Hall of Famers.
Well, right. No. And I remember you saying that. So yeah, I guess maybe I misunderstood the angle that he was taking.
Yeah.
But also the physical toll of the game. One of the things that the guys mentioned, Derek Jeter, someone commented, they're like, wow, they have reduced this guy to Fox baseball commentator. Shouldn't he be like Hall of Famer Derek Jeter, not Fox baseball commentator? But he was saying, he goes, this is a time of the year where everybody's hurting, everybody's sore. You're pushing through, you're fighting through. That 18-inning game had to have something to do with the effect of the game last night and the effectiveness of Savage. Not taking anything away from him, but that's got to be tough mentally when you go 18 innings, you win a game, and then the next game you come up like you're ready to go, you're ready to play, and all of a sudden you're falling flat. You just came off this euphoric high. Yeah. I mean, everything plays a part.
It didn't. I mean, 18 innings, yes, they did play for 6.5 hours, but it's not like we're playing football for 6.5 hours.
Well, that's
or true. Running up and down the court for 6.5 hours.
True.
Or the soccer field or something like that. But it is exhausting, mostly mentally exhausting. But, these guys, I mean, how many times have these guys played doubleheaders?
True.
I mean, and that's what it was. Now it's different. Yes, I know it's different because it's in the World Series. It's different that you've played so many games. I understand that, but there was a lot of talk about how this was a devastating loss for the Toronto Blue Jays. Why? It wasn't devastating. It was a loss. It was one loss. You played 18 innings. You didn't lose 2 games. You only lost 1 game. So, you put it behind you and you move on. I've had that question many times. I mean, how do you come back from that? How many games did you lose in the regular season that you had to come back from? It's something you do all the time.
Now, I'm going to throw you a random pitch or ditch, not for a whole segment, just one question.
Okay.
Is that 18-inning Game 5 of the World Series better than the Game 5 2017 World Series 13-12 Astros walk-off versus the Dodgers?
I think it is, and it's not
really?
because it was a much better played game. The one in 2017, there were errors, there were mental errors. It was a slugfest. I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, but when you look at it as a purist in baseball, I think it was. Entertainment, I'll give it to 2017. But as far as, just the purity of the game, I'm going to take the Game 3 a few days ago.
See, and that's where my bias came through. I was like, there's no way it's better than that game.
Right.
And it is a little different when, well,
you also had a dog in the hunt. So, I mean, we, like you said, we are a little biased since, we are right here in Houston. So.
Yeah, no, I wonder what you thought on that. So the Blue Jays are trying to do.
So what did I do? Did I ditch it or did I pitch it?
You pitched it because you said it was better.
Okay.
So I was kind of hoping you would say ditch, but that's okay, Mike. That's okay.
Yeah, we are unscripted here, folks.
We are unscripted. This is not pre-planned.
We talk for like 3 minutes before we start this.
not all the time. Sometimes we text on the day. Sometimes. Well, it's because we're both savvy in our own way, right?
That's right.
We wear shirts like this, so we got to be smart.
Got to be.
So the series goes back to Toronto. First time, like 32 years Toronto win. the Dodgers are trying to go back-to-back for the first time since the Yankees did it, team that you were on. Mm-hmm. I mean, so the outcome will be historic for either ball club. And I mean, I'm not saying that it's not historic when someone wins a World Series, but there's a lot right on the line. There's a lot of these fans in each of these towns that are really rooting for their team to win. There's a lot of bragging rights on the line than just winning a title. So do you think that, do those things play factors when you're in the playoffs? Do you even care about that? Is that just outside noise? That's more fodder for fans.
That's for yahoos like you and me, knuckleheads. That's what for us to talk about. Yeah, they couldn't give two what's about that. They're trying to win a ring. And to this point right now, the Toronto Blue Jays have been the better team.
Yeah, they have.
What was the strong suit for the Dodgers going into this series? It was the rotation, and they have done a nice job against the rotation. Can they continue that tomorrow against a pitcher that did dominate them in Yamamoto? That's going to be the deciding factor in this game. Can the Blue Jays put up a number and get to that soft belly of the team, which is the bullpen? Dave Roberts, that's why the dude's thrown 2 back-to-back complete games, is because Dave Roberts is trying to stay away from the bullpen.
Exactly. Kerry Ladd asks you, he says, evening, Mr. Stanton, good to see you this evening. Did you think it would be the Blue Jays who would still be in it this long?
I thought that the Blue Jays definitely had a chance. The Blue Jays were better than I think people were giving them credit for. And my prediction was if it went 5 games, the Dodgers would win. But if it goes 6 or 7, I think the Toronto Blue Jays have the upper hand because you get to go back to Toronto, especially that they're up 3-2. I still thought they have a real good chance if they were down 3-2. But them being up 3-2, playing north of the border at the Rogers Center, the old Sky Dome, yeah, I think they have a real shot of winning for the first time in 32 years.
And, those I'm sure the rooms that were going for $15,000 in game 1 and 2 are probably going for twice that in game 6 and 7.
If there's any availability at all.
Oh, man.
You might have to stay in Montreal to get to Toronto.
Oh my God. Wow. That's insane. That's bringing it back. One of the things that I love though, is they've been running a lot of features on Vlad Guerrero Jr. Mm-hmm. Showing him with his dad, talking about how he wants to give his ring to his dad. And then cool. MLB ran a montage, or I think it's called, it's something with the pro players. They have this podcast that they do. And I forget, it's not called the Players Union. There's a name that it totally escapes me, but they did a little video where it was Vlad Guerrero Jr. talking to the city of Toronto. And then it's like the voice of his daughter saying, "Daddy, you're the best." And it was just, I was like, that is what is cool is when you get to see these ball players with their families and see them celebrate.
Well, you see the human side of it. It's one thing that you watch every single game. It's another thing you go and you see them interact with the fans during batting practice, or, walking around the mall or whatever, it's, and you get to see the human side that these dudes are really no different than anybody else. Heck, big league players can be awestruck by any other athlete or any other singer or what, so they're not immune to that kind of stuff, even though it is a little bit different lifestyle. But I think there's times, especially when you just watch the games, that, you forget that these guys are not robots.
Exactly. So tomorrow night's game will feature Yamamoto, as you mentioned, Kevin Gosman. Mm-hmm. I think starting pitching wise, the Dodgers have the advantage, but their offense has got to respond.
They got to score. Hey, listen,
they've got to score runs.
Yamamoto throws 9 shutout again. If you don't score, he gets a no decision. I mean, that's just,
right.
You have to put some runs on the board, and
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what Dave Roberts does if he shakes up the lineup a little bit. I know there was some talk today about maybe moving Mookie to the leadoff spot, just trying to get some kind of traffic on base in front of Shohei. But, Shohei hasn't been great either. Yes, he's had some big games, but if you look at the overall picture, yesterday's game, they did. Savage and the rest of the pitching staff did a really nice job of holding him down. It really seems like when he has a good at bat in that first at bat, that's when he has those big games. So you got to put some quality pitches on him in that first at bat, and just see if you can hold him down.
Yeah, I mean, they literally held them to 4 hits as a team. Ohtani was 0 for 4 with 1 strikeout. I mean, they're Smith, Betts, and Freeman and Hernandez all struck out 2 or more times.
Right.
And so they, that's the name of the game. Put up zeros, disrupt the pitcher's pattern, get guys on base, because if you can work a walk, you can get a guy over. In the
traffic.
Blue Jays,
it's traffic. How many times have we talked about this with the Astros about what do they need to do? They need to score runs. Well, how do you score runs? Especially for a team that didn't hit a whole lot of home runs. You got to give yourself opportunities, which means you have to get guys on base. That is when the pitchers are in the most stressful situations. That's when they can make the mistakes, and that's when you can capitalize on them.
Definitely. Well, Mike, this has been great, man, talking about this series. It's been a fun series to watch, and I know you want it to go Game 7.
Yeah.
You don't want it to end in Game 6. I personally,
I know the Blue Jays fans don't.
No, they want
Nobody wants to go to a Game 7.
They want it to end on Halloween night.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, you know what? You guys and gals be safe Halloween. Parents, make sure you get that mom and dad tax candy. Make sure, tell your kids, oh, you can't eat all that. And then just put it away. So you
don't need all the sugar. You don't need all the sugar.
It's so bad for it's bad for your teeth. You're going to the dentist this week.
Right.
But seriously, it'll be fun. We'll be back. We'll probably be back, Sunday or Monday to break down like what happened, the World Series champion. And then, we'll start kind of going back into the Astros world. There's been some moves being made. They just hired an assistant GM. Their pitching coach, Bill Murphy, is now with the Pirates. He's, I believe, the head pitching coach now with the Pirates. So he's got Paul Skeens under his wings. And, Mike, I want to know what that means is, does someone like a Framber Valdez follow him out there? And where does Framber end up? There's going to be a lot of questions.
If the money's right, then sure.
That's right. That's right.
That may be on the list, but it's not real high on the list.
Exactly. But we've got a lot to talk about too. We'll throw in some Arizona Fall League talk. We'll update y'all on some things in the Astros organization. So, for myself, for everybody here at Back to the Bullpen, again, make sure you go to Ram Shirt and use the code B2B to get your 10% off 2 shirts or more at ramshirts.com. Check us out and tell them that Mike and Brett sent you. I'm Mason Wheelhouse. This is Back to the Bullpen. And you know what? We're out, and I'm going to say it. Go Jays.
Happy Halloween. Everybody be safe, and adios.
Adios.
I'm looking to the bullpen to bring my lefty in. Keep the lead and make your team look pedestrian. It's in your wheelhouse, we'll swing for the fence. You know it's money around here, and I ain't talking expense. Strike 1, heat low in the way, you can't hit it. You know you want to start a rally, but you better forget it. Strike 2, off speed, same spot, your car looking. Get ready at the plate, this time you're not cooking. Strike 3, swinging out of the zone. You ain't even touch it first. Tell me how they gonna drive you home. Walking back, looking like we ain't cool.